Hey there folks, Meteorologist Hunter McCullough here for Northern News Now Plus and another episode of Beyond the Forecast for today. Well, listen, we've got a very active pattern setting up here. We saw a little bit of snow last night, and now that's kind of the least of the snow that we're going to be seeing compared to what we're going to come to see here later on in a few days. Another round tonight, another round later this week, and another round later on this weekend. And models have trended upward just a little bit on every single one of these. So just because it's March, of course, we all know this in the Northland, it does not mean that we are out of the woods when it comes to snowfall. In fact, I've got a little fact in this video just showcasing that in just a little bit here. So take a look at this. Again, we're a few days out, so this could change a little bit. Take this with a grain of salt, but models are actually in pretty fair agreement when it comes to this, and let's talk more about this right now. Hey there folks, Meteorologist Hunter McCullough here for Northern News Now. We've got an active week in store for us. So we just saw that snow last night. We've got 3 more systems on the way before the end of the weekend. And here's what we're looking at as far as what we saw last night. Generally anywhere between about a trace up to 4 inches throughout a good portion of the region, right in the heart of the Northland here in the Twin Ports, seeing 2.2 inches on top of the hill in Duluth. Cornucopia, Wisconsin, seeing 4.0 inches. Herbster seeing 3 inches. Silver Bay just over an inch. So a decent amount of snow, enough to make those roads a little bit slick, enough to return us to that kind of winter wonderland, beautiful images. Of course, maybe in March you don't want to see that, but it is beautiful nonetheless. What we have going on though, into the rest of this week, we've got an active pattern that's going to be continuing. 3 more systems, it's looking like, that are going to be moving through before the end of this weekend. So it's really going to be busy. Another round of snow tonight. This is going to be affecting a good portion of the Northland and northwest Wisconsin, as well as here in the Twin Ports, and totals have gone up just ever so slightly. More snow on the way Thursday. Looks like I misspelled snow there. That's all right. More snow Thursday evening into Friday morning. And these totals have actually gone up a little bit as well, looking like along the North Shore is going to be the most as far as this system is concerned, and the potential for even more snow as a Colorado low moves through this weekend. So access to plenty of moisture and maybe some more widespread moderate to heavy snow. So a lot to go on here as we continue to see this area of low pressure, which actually is what impacted us last night. It's kind of just stalling down to our south, and it's going to bring us another wave of this snow in just a little bit here, actually a few hours away. Later on this afternoon and evening, we'll start to see that snow beginning and then pushing through the region. Should get a little break Wednesday afternoon and evening. In fact, a little sunshine to maybe melt that snow off the trees and melt a little bit of that snow on the ground. And then Thursday, marching right back in. Thursday evening, Friday morning, a strong clipper system is going to bring quite a bit of snow along the North Shore, potentially here, as we have the latest trends kind of going upward for that system. And then yet another one on the way later on into the weekend. As far as snow is concerned later on tonight, so around 3 or 4 o'clock, we should start to see maybe a chance for snow down to our south and western portions of the region, scattered at first, becoming more widespread later on here. And then eventually we're going to be seeing some more snow here towards the end of the evening tonight into early parts of tomorrow morning, especially in northwest Wisconsin. Those areas are going to have the best chance for some snow here. And then going into the early parts of Wednesday, mid parts of Wednesday morning, starting to wrap up here in Minnesota and into Wisconsin, and then pushing out of the Northland with decreasing clouds into our Wednesday afternoon. Snow totals for this round later on tonight into early parts of tomorrow morning. 1 to 3 inches here in the Twin Ports. Localized higher amounts not out of the question. And then 3 to 6 inches if you live off towards Sawyer, Ashland, Iron County, Gogebic County. Those areas are going to be seeing 3 to 6 inches before we're all said and done. But it's not over yet. Then Thursday evening, probably seeing totals of around 4 to 8 inches. Now, model's not fully in agreement yet on this, but 4 to 8 inches and even some localized higher amounts along the higher terrain of the North Shore. And even here in the Twin Ports, we'll have a chance of 4 to 8 inches. So we'll see what happens as we get closer to that. And then the late weekend, we've got a Colorado low moving through, which, as you've seen by a previous video I've made, is a typical snowmaker when it comes to our winters here in the Northland. So we're going to be watching that very closely into the end of this weekend. A lot to be covering here and a lot to be looking at throughout much of the rest of this forecast. Like I said, 3 separate systems still on the way here for this week. And just because it's March doesn't mean that we don't see snow. In fact, our snowiest record snowiest month on record, that is actually April, which is kind of crazy here in Duluth. Saw over 50 inches of snow. I believe it was 2014 in April, so quite a bit of snow can still fall on the way here in this winter, and that's evident this week as we continue to see more chances for some snow showers. Stay safe out there. Check back for updates, as this will change probably a little bit because we are still a few days out, but we are watching this closely, and models are in fair agreement for being this far out. So that's good news for us meteorologists, but bad news if you don't like snow. We'll be talking more about this throughout the rest of the week. Have a great day.